Oh, thank you for that really tepid response. That was really... That's better. Good to see everybody. And you know what's great for a speaker? To be talking in a room that's 3 times as long as it is deep. Because it's kind of like... Wow, yeah, let's take some notes for SIS for next year, okay? We want to dive into a product, and by the way, you do have to be bald to work here at Al Roker Entertainment. You don't really, but we're here to talk about empowering narratives, storytelling that shapes your brand's impact. And you probably know me as Al Roker, the TV weather person, co-host of the Today Show. Then we can just come back and start again. I'm going to do this all day until you... But one of the things that I never wanted to be on TV. I wanted to work in television. In fact, my television, I took radio and TV on-camera classes at the State University of New York at Oswego. And my department chairman, after my first television performance class, told me that I had the perfect face for radio. So I've always been interested in production. And as the head of Al Roker Entertainment, past 30 years, we've been creating impactful storytelling. Our show, Coast Guard Alaska, our show, Kenyatta, Do Not Wait Your Turn, returning citizens beyond incarceration. Our mission has always been to tell impactful stories of good while also doing well, and that's been very important. We're going to explore this in a little more detail. No better person to join me than Dr. Michael Counter. I've always wanted to have a doctor on staff just in case something happened. You know, he's not that kind of doctor, but he's a good doctor. And we also have other members of our team here. We've got Denise Green, who's our content specialist. Where's Denise? Stand up, Denise. You can see Denise has hair. And our social impact officer, Susan Jin Davis, is here. She's got very spiky hair, so we run the gamut. We've got braids, we've got spikes, we got nothing going on. It's unbelievable. Michael, first of all, let's talk about Coast Guard Alaska, which was one of these shows that we started telling about these thrilling rescues. Everybody ever saw that show, Dangerous Tuna, all that stuff that's on Discovery? Well, the Coast Guard are the people, when those people get in trouble, the Coast Guard are the folks that rescue them.
Again, thank you, Al. Thank you so much, Sis. Very happy to be here. Regarding Coast Guard, we were able to do something really lovely with audiences, and I think our approach at ARE, Al Roker Entertainment, is to develop shows, develop content with a sense of credibility and reach. And so by harnessing the stories of the heroic men and women of the United States Coast Guard, we were able to touch audiences on an emotional level while also being able to educate them and inform them about the world of the U.S. Coast Guard, the work that they do. So it was not so much, preachy, but rather teaching in action to be able to present the stories of these remarkable men and women through the show.
And speaking of credibility, I've referenced this one broadcast, this one documentary we did, Kenyatta, Do Not Wait Your Turn. We followed State Rep Malcolm Kenyatta in his quest a couple of years ago to be the candidate, the Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania. And I got to tell you, I met Malcolm during this, and he is one of the most charismatic politicians you're going to meet, and you're going to have to watch out for this guy because he is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, amen. Love the work that we've done with Kenyatta has been one that took his personal story as well as his political journey, and it acts kind of as a proxy for other young, Black, LGBTQ plus individuals who are, especially at this time in history, considering their political engagement and civic activism, and the work, I think, that we were able to do with the Kenyatta Project really allows people to reflect on their place in the process from multiple vantage points.
Yeah, and then we also team up with organizations, companies, nonprofits, corporations to tell great stories, but to also do good. Marvin had referenced after the tragic death, the murder of George Floyd. We partnered, Denise Green partnered us with the John Deere Company because they wanted to do something impactful. They just didn't want to throw money at this issue. They wanted something that was going to resonate for years to come. And so they teamed up with the Thurgood Marshall Foundation. They also teamed up with LEAP, and their work with the Center for Heirs Rights Property to be able, in the 1920s, there were about 20 million acres of Black-owned farmland. Today, there is less than 2 million acres. There is a generational loss, adjusted for today, generational wealth loss of over $300 billion in Black farmland. And in fact, we've got Theralyn Fox from the LEAP. Is Theralyn here? Hi, Theralyn. How are you? Theralyn is with the LEAP Coalition. She manages that program. And Michael, talk a little bit more about
with Gaining Ground, again, hi, Theralyn. Thank you so much for joining us. Gaining Ground is a remarkable kind of premier opportunity where we were able to take the strategic partnership with John Deere and highlight the work that they were already doing, and to be able to not only drive awareness with the work that they're doing, but also create some sustainable impact that continues to help them in their charge forward in helping eradicate heirs property.
And it's not just what we found is we took this to screenings. We won numerous awards, and again, couldn't have done it without the folks at John Deere and at LEAP and Thurgood Marshall. But people were coming up to us, and it wasn't just farmers who didn't have the proper title or deeds to their property. Folks who have brownstones in Chicago or in Harlem or in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, or if you don't have the right property, you can't take out loans against that. You can't tap into that wealth that has been built up. So this was really an important project that we were so proud. And it's still, it's going to be airing. We're going to be making an announcement where it's going to be airing shortly, but it's won a number of awards. Another project we've done, one of our folks, Brian O'Reilly, on our team, did this great docu-series with Paul Butler of Georgetown University Law. And it delves into the criminal justice system. And let's talk about that. It's on PBS.
Yes, Returning Citizens is similar to what Marvin Carr mentioned earlier about the incarceration system. With Returning Citizens, we are being able to present the story of reintroducing or reintegrating the formerly incarcerated back to society. And again, Brian O'Reilly and Paul Butler bring these narratives forward, and I think the tactical component about this particular partnership is that not only is it airing on PBS, but the goal of the work that that the Georgetown University Law Center is doing, along with this with Returning Citizens, is that we want to create access. How can we get the story of reintegrating these people to the broadest amount of audiences and eyeballs to keep that momentum going? PBS, public broadcasting television, would be a way for us to do this, and so the distribution component was imperative for us to be able to not create a roadblock to the good work of the stories that are being currently airing on PBS.
And some of the things we're doing in the future, we've optioned a book by Marissa Renee Lee. She has written this unbelievable book after suffering just unbelievable tragedy. It's called Grief is Love, Living with Loss.
Grief is Love, Living with Loss. Marissa Renee Lee I call her our joy warrior. The topic of grief is something that we do not talk about. I think it's a remarkable opportunity for us at this time in history to be tapping into that, because grief is something that touches us all. It is our collective ancestor. And with in optioning the book, what we are doing with the show, the series that we're producing, or developing rather, is taking the remarkable story of Marissa, who's a Harvard-educated, Obama administration Black woman in New York City with a remarkable pedigree, taking her story of loss, and what she does in the book is show that grief is a component of love rather than some separate process. And so we have the opportunity to use the show to highlight other rituals and traditions across America that allow us to show how we are all dealing with grief in really remarkable, fresh, uplifting, healing ways across multiple platforms.
And then we're looking at sustainability with the iconic host from HGTV, Genevieve Gorder.
Genevieve. So did any of you watch HGTV at all? You know? Exactly. Thank you. Wake it up. HGTV is, HGTV is a really remarkable place where you find your home and design content. Genevieve Gorder is a veteran in that space, and we are now partnering with her to use her powers for good toward the space of resilient living and sustainability. And
Chicago's own Maya Camille Broussard is here. Where are you, Maya? Maya Camille. She is the best pie baker in Chicago.
Yes.
A shop called Justice of the Pies, and we're going to be working with her.
Yes. We are looking at working in the space of food scarcity and pairing, again, another celebrity-led project with a sustainability bent toward better content and stories of good.
That's right. And we also did a show, Healthcare Heroes, with Northwell Health during the height of the pandemic. You saw everything that was going on in New York City when people were banging on pots and pans, and we had the Northwell Health Nurses Choir that became famous all across the country. We were thrilled to do that, teaming up with Northwell Health to produce that. Childhood Hunger, we did a special on that with Conagra Brands, based here in Chicago. So there's a lot of good that can be done teaming up. So we would love to work with you and your nonprofit and your corporation to produce your story, to do the best we can, and to get more good out there. And thank you so much for listening. And now you can all stand up, because I'm sure your butts are starting to tingle. Thank you very much.